Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Basili, your orthopedics faculty with Marrow, and it gives me immense pleasure and I'm honored to introduce Dr. Narendra to all of you, who has a very unique story in terms of preparation for FMG exam. Uh, Dr. Narendra did his MBBS from Nepal. So he is presently a second year resident in radiology in INI-CET, that is AIMS, but he also cleared the FMG exam because he wants to work in India. And he has used Marrow in his final years to start preparing for INI-CET as well as your FMG exam. So this is a unique story which I wanted to understand and listen how he utilized these resources to crack not only one but two exams. Hi, Dr. Narendra, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm all good, sir.
Congratulations for securing 244, which is an amazing rank, amazing score. But I'm sure you must have cracked the INI-CET exam. So this might not feel like a great achievement to you, but trust me, it is because score is a huge score.
Yes. Thank
So
you.
I want to understand and know when did you start using Marrow and what are the subjects that you first started Marrow with?
Sir, I started using Marrow basically from when I went into the final year of my MBBS. And
Mhm.
that is one complaint that I always had with me. Like, why did I not start using it earlier? But yes, I during my final years, I started using it. Like, I began with four major subjects which were there in my final year: medicine, surgery, pediatrics, and obs gynae. Uh, in the final year, I watched these four subjects' main videos. That helped
Regular.
me basically with my yes, that helped me basically with the preparation of my final year examination. It was nothing to do with the entrance that I would be going through in the later stages. I basically used it for my preparation of the final year.
Mhm.
I completed most of the videos from these four major subjects and also some with the community medicine because that is what it is there as well. And so, yes, sir, in the final year, I started using Marrow and
You
with
did the
these
regular.
major subjects.
Now,
Yes,
now
sir.
the regular videos in Marrow have a lot of depth. They are very popular for their depth and clarity, and the teachers in final year have cleared a lot of complicated concepts very simple. Now,
Yes.
can you tell me specifically how these video lectures helped you clear your final MBBS exam, as well as in your INI-CET exam, as well as in your FMG exam? Are there any specific scenarios or subjects which you found difficult before watching the videos, which became easy after the videos?
Yes, sir. Like, I always believe, sir, these all these things going on, it's very deep, it's superficial. I think medicine is a very beautiful branch, and the more deep we go, the more better understanding we have. It's actually better for us. It makes it more easy. And the best thing about Marrow is it is unbeatable in that context. Like it's so in depth, and that is what I think not only makes I think it doesn't make things difficult for us in that thing. It makes it more easier for us because once you get a grip of that concept about a thing, you don't forget it. And even if you forget it, 50% of the thing you will be remembering, which will be more than enough actually to help you in the MCQ exams to some extent. So yes, the final year subjects not only helped me with my actually theory exams, but also with the practical exams. And I, yes, sir, they helped me a lot in my final years. And I,
Right. Like, but this is what is interesting now about all the final year subjects. Whether you take medicine, surgery, obstetrics, and pediatrics, they have a lot
yes,
of overlap with all the pre and paraclinical
mm,
subjects. Where in terms of
yes,
pharmacology, pathology, physiology,
yes,
microbiology, anatomy, embryology. So there is a lot of overlap. And if you thoroughly understand these final year subjects, which are basically clinical
yes, sir,
subjects, you
yes,
tend to understand the pre and paraclinical subjects with them. And most of the questions that are framed these days, whether it's pre or paraclinical subjects, also have a clinical hint mentioned somewhere to help you answer the question. And this preparation uh, in depth helps you answer those kind of
yes.
complicated questions.
Yes, sir. I think the question these days are not isolated. Like we can't say this question came from pharma, this question came from patho, or this question came from ortho. There is usually an integration. Like medicine is integrated with pharma, patho, physio. Radio is integrated with orthopedic, surgery. Similarly, surgery is integrated with other. Opthal is integrated with radio. So yes, we can't see a question from with that it came from this subject or that subject. I think, and
So
so
these
and
regular videos that you have watched, Narendra. Na? So after watching these videos, did you have time to do the questions of these subjects from the question bank?
Yes, sir. I did. I did not do all, but yes, I did do some QBanks, and my strategy was basically uh, completing a video and doing question bank related to that video,
Mhm.
because that used to fill any lacuna of knowledge that I had related to that. Because ultimately, you may watch an entire video, but the question that comes from that point of the video where maybe we missed the understanding. So yes, the QBank really helped to fill that gap,
Right.
and so that is what I did, sir.
So the video basically gives you a complete story, and you will
Yes, sir.
not be able to understand which part of the stories are usually tested
Important.
and
Yes, sir.
are important for your exam. And when you do the
Yes.
question bank, it's like a net that you put on your story, which highlights and
Yes.
identifies the important areas that are frequently tested on your exam.
Yes.
So the QBank is
Yes, sir.
actually designed like that. It constantly
Yes,
hammers
sir.
in the takeaway points so they
Yes, sir.
don't miss them while your revisions. Now, when it comes to
Yes.
these final year subjects, Narendra, how did you prepare your notes? Because Marrow has digital notes. Were you using the digital notes, or did you write your own notes, or did you procure the printed notes? What was your strategy with notes?
Sir, I had printed notes. Like I did not make my own notes, and I think the printed note, they are very good. Like at that point of time, I was using Edition 6, and I was actually a fan of the Marrow Notes. And like the day I bought Marrow Note, actually I was so much happy. Like the entire day I was looking at those notes. Like it is so beautifully, and it was so beautifully integrated with the video. So I did not find it important to make my own note actually.
Perfect, perfect. I mean, it does definitely makes your life easy because everything that
Yes,
is uh, there in the videos has been processed and written in a very
yes, sir.
simplified manner in the notes. And if you have any extra information that you would like to add, you can
Yes, sir.
hopefully add it in the spaces provided in the notes to make
Yeah,
it a
there are.
complete.
Yes, sir. There are abundant spaces to actually add whatever what you want to add.
Now, what about the short subjects, Narendra? You were saying something about watching the revision videos for the short subjects. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. Like in my college, the short subjects used to be taught in the fourth year actually.
Acha.
So at that point of time, I didn't have Marrow. So I basically prepared short subjects before my INI-CET exam. I
Mhm.
completed all the short subjects from the revision videos because I didn't have adequate time. I just had around 1.5 month to prepare
Okay.
this short subject.
Acha.
Major major subject I didn't go through again because I was pretty sure whatever I had learned during my final years, I was retaining most of the things, or maybe if I'm not retaining most of the things, it was adequate for me to get a seat that I want.
Okay.
So I was pretty confident with that. Short subjects I did from uh, revision videos, sir.
Right. So, what about the revision video notes? Did you use the revision video notes as well, or just watch the videos
Yes, I used the revision video notes
also? All right.
because that was emailed to me. Yes.
Right. What about grant tests? What is your opinion about grant tests, and how frequently did you give these grant tests?
Grand tests are like, I think the only grand test which resembles with your actually understanding is like the Marrow grand test. Because during my INI-CET exam, I gave a few grand tests, but the actual mark that I got during my INI-CET exam correlated exactly. Like I would say it was plus minus 3-4 marks. That is what it resembled to that extent. So grand tests are a lot useful. They can test what is your level of preparation and what additional effort that you had to keep and what is lacking. So I think it's a must, sir. To it
So
also
after each
points
grant
your
test,
weaker
there is
areas.
this analytics, right? These analytics that show you your weak subjects and your strong subjects. Were they helpful in identifying your weak areas to work on?
Yes, sir, it did. Actually, during my grand test, before my preparation, I gave one grand test actually, and that is where I knew that my major subjects are quite good for me to sail through this exam. But I came to know that minor subjects I am weak because quite a lot of time has had passed. Plus, minor subjects we also don't have quite an exposure because during even during internship, the internship is limited in these minor subjects, the short subjects, what we call. So the grand test pointed exactly to my weaknesses, and so I basically prepared the short subjects from the revision videos, and that was pointed to me. That weakness was pointed to me by the grand test actually.
And if you had missed those grand tests, you wouldn't have known that these were your weak areas, and you probably
Yes,
missed
sir.
scoring high.
Yes,
So now,
yes,
because your preparation was something of a very unique thing, because you were targeting something, and on the way you appeared for the FMG exam as well.
yes, sir.
I want you
Yes,
to
sir.
give your honest opinion regarding preparation for FMG exam, because I personally feel, because the boards that are conducting the NEET PG exam and the FMG exam, and essentially all the medical exams that are conducted in India, or abroad also, essentially hover around a few key areas of the subjects. So the knowledge base is pretty much the same. It's just how you
Yes.
approach it in terms of the question. What would be your advice to somebody who's preparing for FMG exam in terms of when should they start preparing, and what are the subjects they should focus on if they want to crack the FMG exam?
So the preparation for FMG exam depends upon when, at what stage of preparation the person is, and in which year the person is actually. Like the best preparation, I think, would be to just study properly and during your MBBS. That would be the best starting from the first day. But like uh, if a person, sir, is in the later stages, like suppose the person has completed MBBS, I think these platforms, they are an amazing opportunity for the person. Like even if they have not, or like suppose there are some limitations, there are logistic limitations, like there are not much patient exposure, or depending upon the institution that the person has studied from. I think
Yes.
these platforms have actually covered all those lacunae. Like a person can be in any corner of the world and he can get the best knowledge that a person is getting sitting at AIMS Delhi. That is the point. If we are comparing AIMS Delhi as the better point, so preparation can start. You can start at any point of time, but yes, the best thing I would recommend is always build on the basics, because and basics can only be built if we have a detailed understanding of that, and that is where the Marrow videos beat everything else.
So I really like what you have said. Basically, if you really want to score high or get good marks or get great ranks, you have to start with the basics, and your basics
Yes,
have to
sir.
be sound. Your fundamentals have to be rock solid, and this only
Yes,
comes from elaborate depth and clarity, which
yes,
takes a bit of time. So patience is
yes,
required. You
sir.
cannot use any shortcut resource to get that kind of
Mm,
knowledge, and you cannot use
yes,
any shortcut resource to get that kind of scores and rank. I think that is a very insightful point that we need to keep telling ourselves, because this is an era of a lot of distraction and a lot of shortcut courses that are available, that are making students think that they are missing out on something that will help them score, but it
yes,
usually
sir.
doesn't.
Regarding the questions that I faced in the FMG, like I liked those questions a lot, and I felt that those questions are the actual questions which are testing my knowledge as an MBBS graduate. What is the minimum standard that I should have? Like I feel that the FMG exam tested my preparation during MBBS, and after that more than what others exam tested. So the questions were very good. The questions were very clinical, and though I have not given NEET PG, I think the conversation that is going around that FMG is going towards NEET PG, the questions, because ultimately, as you said, the platform remains the same. They can't build new questions. So preparing for one exam in depth will ultimately help in your preparation for every exams. That is what I
Absolutely.
believe.
Absolutely, I agree. And that is what I've been hearing with all the top scorers of FMG exam this year, that they have been preparing for NEET PG, or they have been preparing for FMG, and the kind of questions they have been preparing is pretty much the same. But what I like is that you have mentioned that the FMG exam particularly is an exam that is oriented towards screening and licensing. So it has those questions that are testing the readiness of the person to start practicing in our country. So it
Yes.
was so nice speaking to you, Narendra. It was so
Yes.
lovely hearing your insights about the preparation. All the very best for your residency, and thank you
Thank you
for
so much, sir.
guiding your juniors to crack the FMG exam.
Thank you so much, sir. It was actually a dream talking to you.
Thank you.